There is no one else, only Hobgoblin. Hey everyone, it's Chris. In today's video, I'll be discussing Marvel Spider-Man 2017 Season 1, Episode 26, titled Hobgoblin Part 2. This episode concludes the two-part finale of Season 1. Let's swing into action. In this gripping episode, Spider-Man faces off against the Hobgoblin 2, who is hell-bent on destroying him at any cost. Let's start with this episode's strengths: character development and a compelling story. First, let's talk about character development. This episode highlights Peter's extraordinary resourcefulness. No matter the odds, he stands his ground. He is Spider-Man, meaning he will always rise to the challenge. His quick thinking skills are important to his character, and we see him use them skillfully throughout Season 1. And throughout of all the animated Spider-Man shows I have watched and finished mostly all of them, I've really come to really notice that I love when those shows or even particular episodes really showcase Spider-Man's resourcefulness. Like, he's goes through all these different challenges and he's willing to overcome them because of his resourcefulness. Like, he uses those quick thinking skills to get out of any situation. My favorite one is in Spider-Man versus the Master Planner, when he has essentially that machinery on top of him and he's got to lift it up and he's like, okay, I cannot let Gwen down. I gotta get out of here. And it's very similar to like what happens in this episode where Hobgoblin blows those walkways in between two buildings. He essentially makes it fall on Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is on top of a bus trying to hold it up so it doesn't crush these people. And he's like, I am Spider-Man, I gotta do this. I gotta save these people. Like, I know you have all this weight on your shoulders, but because of his resourcefulness, he essentially gets out of the situation, because of his quick thinking. He always remembers what Uncle Ben has taught him in the past. Next, the story is compelling, drawing from a wider range of comic book lore. The episode feels refreshingly familiar and unique, making it a standout from previous series. Deeper motivations drive Hobgoblin's pursuit of revenge against Spider-Man. Norman Osborn's desire for Harry to rise and become the hero the city needs is a central and driving storyline throughout Season 1. Norman Osborn wants his son to fulfill his destiny. He wants Harry, or Hobgoblin, to become the hero the city needs. Norman may not fit the mold of the traditional father, but his influence is crucial in transforming his son into the city's true hero from the very start. Which I do like, because Season 1, they essentially sprinkle breadcrumbs throughout the season where what are Norman Osborn's, what are his true intentions? The reason why he created Oz Academy, so he could keep an eye on his son. That's the reason why he didn't want him to go to Horizon High, because if he was there, somebody else would essentially influence him, and essentially he wouldn't become the true hero that Norman Osborn wants him to become. Which is very cliche, because, father figure wants more greatness from his son, and so on and so on. It's familiar. It is very familiar. We've seen it before. In the season's final showdown, Norman meets his fate in a devastating chemical explosion following a fierce battle against Hobgoblin and Spider-Man. Now, Season 1 does end with Harry and Pete believing Norman Osborn has been killed by the explosion. But Norman Osborn does return in Season 3 as the Dark Goblin, which is essentially Green Goblin bonded with the Venom symbiote. Ultimately, Norman leaves Harry a surprise that hints at exciting things. Meanwhile, Spider-Man, or Pete, proudly receives a statue at Horizon High, marking an impressive recognition of his legacy. He becomes the school's official mascot. Hobgoblin Part 2 boasts strong character development. Although the plot appears to be a typical revenge story, it ultimately focuses on a father's desire for his son to fulfill his destiny. It's worth noting, this episode might not include exciting fight sequences fans usually expect from past series. I think that is really one of my biggest complaints of Marvel Spider-Man 2017. Some episodes have some really good action sequences where compared to other episodes, the action sequences aren't that great. Nonetheless, although Harry and Pete's friendship evolves, their strength of their bond is unbreakable, no matter the challenges they face or their actions. Next week, I'll be discussing Ultimate Spider-Man Season 1, Episode 8, Back in Black. Stay tuned for that video sometime next week, most likely posted on Friday. I'm Spider-ManChris, and I'll see you in the next one.